t-shirt, now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Roses on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you or please. I do what I want when I'm wanting to. So cynical. I'm a bad guy. Duh. So you're a tough guy, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so buff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday. Good Mondays, because on Mondays we get to talk about Derry. I am so ready to get into this episode because we predicted basically everything, but I was still touched, and I don't know if Ashley was as touched as I was. But be sure to leave your commentary down below about our commentary and let us know what you think about the show. Ashley, how are you feeling, and are you ready to get into Derry?
Hey, I'm feeling great. Absolutely ready to get into it. I hear an echo though.
Is it me?
Every time I talk is where it happens. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't hear an echo.
Okay. But yeah, I'm doing well. Ready to get into all the things.
Nikki, say something now.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it's still
Still.
connecting. Hold on, I'll just not use this.
Still bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just want you. Oh no, it's a echo no matter what.
I have no clue.
Okay.
I
I'll
have
just
no
mute
clue.
and then
I'm sure it's probably me, but that's something I'll have to adjust later on, y'all. Using something different tonight. But starting where we typically start, Ashley, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
my overall thought it was our penultimate episode. It wasn't my favorite episode. I know everybody was like tens across the board, tens, and I was like, okay. It definitely amplified the gore. This was definitely horror. It was a little bit above my pay grade in the horror space, in my opinion. But it was fine. People are still making just the worst of decisions. I'm really disappointed in our people of color over here. It's just like they don't have the sense God gave a grape, and I'm just really aggravated by it. I really feel like Richie needed to be in that box and Margie needed to burn. I think that was her penance. You know what I mean? I think that would have been her act of contrition that would have made her right with the world. It would have forgiven her sins and we could move on. She's already one eye down. You know what I mean? So how far would it have been for her to just kirk out? Richie was a perfectly healthy, not to sound ableist, but he was a young king. And she, in fact, did not deserve him. But overall, it was a good episode. It really has me wanting to know what's going to happen next. But if I'm honest, I'm disappointed with a lot of our characters. They're on my list, at least 3-4 of them.
But I've been disappointed in the Black since we started. That's just a given, especially the men here. Because what was going on? Why are we drawing guns and putting them away? We're going to shoot first and ask questions later. That's just how it's going to be. But I really enjoyed this episode. This episode was so bloody. That's what we come here for. There was a lot of carnage here, a lot of blood, a lot of gore, which is, of course, not at all above my pay grade. I'm here for that. I was here for some of the things that can recall, and we'll get to them. But the ending with Will, loved it. It was top tier. I knew it was coming, and I was glad that I got it. I mean, the way y'all want Marge to just die is crazy. I didn't want any of these kids to die, but man, I really did not want them to give my boy Richie the Titanic treatment. I was like, Rose, scoot your ass over and let Richie get on the door, baby. There's room for two. We can fit in here. But we had to lose someone, and it's sad that it had to be Richie. And I felt it, even though we predicted it. But I did not have a problem with this episode. I feel like this episode was really good. I enjoyed the gore. I enjoyed the pacing. The kids, once again, are acting down. I wasn't disappointed there. It definitely has me looking forward to the last episode. But moving on here, I'm going to come to Ashley because we started here. They took us all the way back, and we got into a poor Pennywise. Baby, he was sad with his big head ass. I was like, God damn. It's giving, inbred. Hills have eyes. That chrome dome was swole. I said, Daddy Penny, are you okay? But not only is he not okay, but this is a broken man here. We trying to be best in show down there at the circus, reminiscing on these good old days. We have the kids going and laughing, but they're ridiculing us at the same time. Maybe taking off Penny's wig, running up, bombarding the stage. It wasn't doing good. And then when we saw that kid in the distance in what looked to be at the top of a barn, I knew exactly who that kid was and where we were going. And we got a whole lot of little periwinkle this episode. They've suffered, not only just some loss as far as circumstances and who he used to be before we became this, but we've lost our mind. And it's really, we're all we got. Mama's gone. You're going to replace mom. And we're just going to come back new and improve. And of course, we never get to do that because we went on with I say, who the hell going anywhere with this little boy? The little boy that was struggling, who needed some assistance because I lost my parents. I'm not going to damn place with you, little boy. But we wanted to be a good Samaritan and help, and we never returned, leaving poor little Periwinkle without a purpose and by herself. And of course, we see the fruits of that labor modern day, and she's lost her ever loving mind. But I felt like this was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was a nice little origin situation because for one, I've been definitely waiting on this moment, and I was happy that we finally got it. Ashley, what about you? How did you feel about this moment and meeting Pennywise in this state? Because he was hurt.
I feel like they were liars. I feel like I knew from the beginning that Periwinkle Daddy was a predator, was a menace, in fact. And the fact that they're going to glaze over that, because no. You see a child in need in the woods and you're like, I'm busy drinking this liquor. There's more to him. He was a degenerate drunk, probably a gambler. And I venture to say he was doing something to them kids. I don't trust it. The vein in his forehead alone was reason enough for me not to trust him. The way that his forehead protruded out so far past his nose and on both sides past his ears was diabolical. There was more. Y'all can put it on my cracker. Oh, he was a great dad. But what happened to the mother? I venture to say he took out his wife. And that's just who he had left. And so he was making the best of a bad situation. There's no way that you raise a demon seed up to that point, because she was already crazy, without having something else. So he was a degenerate drunk, probably a gambler, and dare I say a menace, maybe an unaliver. Okay, so y'all are not, I don't buy what they sold us. Oh, he was just a good dad, down on his luck, whatever. He was going to leave that child to be abandoned until he heard the fake screams or whatever. Pennywise is diabolical. Y'all will paint it, the haters will say, oh, it's just because the clowns drew the kids and Pennywise loved that child effect. But there's more to the story, I venture to say. I'm just saying, in my mind, if y'all want to round this narrative out, tell the truth about who Periwinkle's daddy is. And the fact that mental illness probably ran in the family generationally.
Ashley, why do you do this? Every time you're going to take these people somewhere, they left no breadcrumbs to insinuate that this version of Pennywise was a PDF file. They didn't say that. If they would have gave us a little bit of that, I swear I would give it to you. I do not think that was present. I'll give you mental illness. Something was broken. I think it was an illness, probably entangled with a bit of we're all we have. It's Periwinkle and Pennywise against the world. I've already lost mom, and now that he's gone, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I can't pull it back together, even in my late adult years down here in Derry. The other parts, Unless they would have given it to, it would have really been on brand for Pennywise. It's what I felt like it was. Pennywise said, "Hey, I'm getting closer to some kids than I ever would by myself and taking all these other forms. Let me become this clown. I'm gonna wait on it. If they give us something, I'll give you that, Ashley." But I didn't. I didn't see.
We'll see next season or whenever we go to 1908.
Ashley gonna write that story. Thank you so much, Jay Buggan, for the super chat. We expected Richie to die, but not like this. Shaking my head. I kind of like it. I like it to be where we're expecting Pennywise to get him. This way made me way more sad. I was crying. I mean, leave a comment down below if you shed a tear all about Rich. It was expected. He was painting those pictures of how he was going to go out this entire time. I never expected Pennywise to get rich. He was going to go out all about Marge, even though he known her for all of 2 weeks. It wasn't given that. Thank you, Dane. Pennywise clown clothes is looking fly, man. It's the Michael Jackson. Like, I just need Pennywise to go on Dougie, go on Two Step, go on. It's always giving Michael Jackson's Thriller bad era when he rolls up on a victim. Like, why are you jugging? What's really going on? But moving on to here, because, all right, now, we had been anticipating every single thing that was going to go down at this black spot. We knew that there would be death upon death, and it was going to be a lot of loss. But the way that it happened, it was just sheep's led to slaughter. They were defenseless. I had some anticipation for more because we did see that previous trailer and it was like, okay, your guns are drawn, ours are drawn. Like, what's good? I didn't expect it to go like this. First, we draw these guns all in the name of protecting Hank, who's running around town with that old YT woman, but we're going to let that go. We're trying to protect Hank. It's like, you know what? No, not one of our own. Hank brings his happy ass out the back. You know what? Just don't hurt these good people, especially not my baby. Everybody just calm down. Let me go with him. Yeah, that wasn't going to fly. I'm not going to put too much on Hank because I know that it wouldn't have mattered. Those people were going to come there for those ending results that we got. But we might have would have had, a fighting chance if we would have blasted them blickers when we had a moment. Because by the time they got outside and chained those doors and the cocktails and whatnot, it was already over. I wasn't shocked by that. The flames went up really, really quickly. All of the gunfire, I was like, baby, are there marksmen outside? What's really going on? The prompt precision at which they were shooting these black people like it was nothing was wild work. Because I was like, we're army trained in here. Did anybody learn anything in army? We're armed and dangerous, right? I just didn't see the fruits of that labor. The main thing that pissed me off here was not only Hank, but Dick. Dick gets on my nerves. Dick gets on my nerves. I have absolutely no hope for Dick, but the way that Dick was so self-contained. I'm going to save myself. I could give a damn about anybody's kids, getting anybody else to safety. I'm thinking on my feet, getting down in this hole, up until I hear maybe some outcries from Will or from Ronnie. Well, I really can't leave the children. Let me go do that. And then, of course, we turn and we have our indigenous lead from the previous story, and we saw how she sacrificed herself back and she's here in the spirit. And this is the first time that we have Dick, from our knowledge, really speak to them, and now they can really speak and zero in on him and notice that he's in the room, which is not a good thing. But baby, Pennywise dancing in the flames, walking around, eating, is there some face on my face? It was really good. I really enjoyed all of that blood shed and that was great. But I did not enjoy watching all of these black people die, and in the same tone, having black people around them do nothing to assist. I just always want more from Hank or from Dick, and I know that we're never going to get it, but I'm going to have that expectation because these are brothers. Ashley, how did you feel about this? And did you expect a little bit more fight from our people at the black spot?
No, I mean the way that the people are just delayed and special. I mean, and I'm saying even if you and we know that they're not from here. A lot of these people are from the South, from other parts of America, and now are here because of their military, whatever. My thing is, them people left way too easily for y'all to think it was just over. Like, yeah, we got our blickies, we pulled them out, so they're just going to leave peaceably into that good night, sir. No, they're going to lock you in, and they're going to go with the Molotov cocktails. They act like they ain't been nowhere. Y'all ain't seen Brother Minister? Y'all ain't seen Brother Malcolm. Y'all ain't seen Martin Luther the King. Like, I just don't understand. We had a whole civil rights movement out here in these streets. People with water hoses, Molotov cocktails, bombs, dare I say. 4 little girls. We haven't been over there. It's like there was just this lack of awareness of the whites and what they will do to you. They come in with masks. You still ain't seen their faces, and you think it's over. You think because you pull a blicky out or two that they didn't come armed. Like, this was just, it was absurdity at its finest level, in my opinion. And then when everything commences and you're locked in here, it's like, damn, what are you going to do? I will say this definitely was reminiscent of what we saw in the Watchmen series. This definitely gave Tulsa vibes. This was overt a massacre, and it was tragic to see and kind of triggering, kind of activating, if I'm honest with you, in that moment, because all of these people are literally just massacred because somebody put Hank here. I'm laying this at the feet of Charlotte. And I know you're going to say, well, Kirsch actually did it. But who told Kirsch? Charlotte, Leroy, Dick, Hank, all of them. I despise them. And the fact that we lost so many black lives in Derry this night was diabolical. And the fact that Dick said, well, time to go. I'm just going to, until you hear a final cry, you got to see a vision to make you jump into action. Dick is like I said, from The Shining to here. He was trying to make up for something, baby, but you'll never make up for it, Dick. You're a monster. You're a cad. You could have jumped that little flame. I've seen Backdraft. I've seen all of the firefighter movies and shows. There was a way to get over and get Marge and Richie. You could have threw them over there and sacrificed your life. Also, the fact that, Dick, you ain't get no shining moment before this, you knew there was a sense of impending doom. And I know you battling with everything else, but you're too old, sir. I'm not about to fool with him. And Hank was just useless. It was just like an amalgamation of useless people in the moment. And then Leroy, Charlotte, y'all just gone. We don't see y'all for hours. 8 hours later, the place burned down. Your kids are there. I'm aggravated by this whole thing. I was excited to see our elder indigenous person to bring Dick back to some sort of semblance of reality, but he's a trash individual. Like I said before, he only cares about himself. The only reason he stayed to try to help Will and Ronnie was because the image came up and he couldn't resist it in that moment. But no, he's trash. They did never stand a chance because they were delayed. With all that firepower, we should have taken it to the woods. Honestly, I don't know why you would be so content to be confined in this black spot. Like, none of it made sense from military personnel, in my opinion. None of it.
I don't know. I would just love to know, when we have these more so black moments, who is in the writer's room. Because I don't feel a presence of it. Like you said, this is reminiscent of Watchmen. And, last discussion, it was very like, okay, we're about to go down those Tulsa roads. We're getting into the word of a white woman. And the lying of it all is very reminiscent of a Tulsa or a Rosewood. We've seen these moments. The problem is the people here in the moment who are very black, and even if they are from the South, even more reason to know what this really means. We're in this room like none of those things have happened, and they have some false sense of safety and security because, oh, this is Derry. Like, I wouldn't give a damn where it was. Like, black is black everywhere at this time, especially in 1962. And they were just like, well, yeah, let's just buckle down. And Dick's like, well, they're going to come back, right? No, nobody was alarmed. And then they got the Mary out first. It's like, Mary, what you doing in here with your white self? You ought to be ashamed, Mary. Get out of here. We got to get you out of here first. But the fact that they were in here and these children were in here and it wasn't a parent in sight, it was every man for himself. Like, those flames spread so damn quickly. It was just so tragic, and they just couldn't do anything. And the moment we even thought about, maybe we should try to get outside and get to those woods, you get shot in the head with massive precision. I was so disappointed. I was just really, really disappointed. And I personally don't feel like that there are any black people in that writer's room, because we have these people who are just delusional as far as what's about to go down. For whatever reason, I do not care. After that first episode, Hank very much gives Runaway Slave and Dick gives House Negro. Who wrote these people?
I don't know. We're no blacks. I could tell by the music last time.
Oh yeah, that scene, it didn't have no blackness on it. But even with all the people, because we haven't read the books, it was like, okay, well y'all wait, because Dick's gonna redeem himself. You're gonna love him after the black spot. This was not redemption for me. And even with him going back into the fire and lingering there, it's because he's seen the elder indigenous woman. It's like, oh, I can still have an avenue to get to those that dragon glass, those stones. Yeah, let me follow that. There wasn't any stake to save anybody's life. That man stayed alive long enough to help Dick move that refrigerator, and then we immediately didn't give a damn because I'm trying to get myself to safety. Selfish man. Absolutely selfish man. It's very, very disappointing. Well, let me get over here and look at this. Thank you so much, Jantis, for the super chat. Ashley making up whole storylines is sending me every time, Jantis. Every single time, Ashley is going to give you a storyline, and I love that. But it would have really made sense. But I think that we stay away from the PDF type of moments because I feel like it'll be too much crossover with the in creature in something like Freddy Krueger or Jeepers Creepers. He has an individual thing. We're eating the kids, but we're not, PDFing or doing anything like that. And if he chose him because he was that type of disgusting human being, that would have made it interesting. But I think he was just a little downtrodden clown with nothing left to give, who was led into a bad situation. But getting over here, y'all, because as you said, this also pissed me all the way off because we didn't have to be here. Let me put Ashley back up here. We didn't have to be here. The moment that all of this happened, and of course, we just couldn't make it over there and get over here to my baby. I hated this with a passion. I knew Richie was gonna die. There wasn't really anywhere else for him to go in the story. And I never felt like they sufficiently fleshed him out or gave him as much room as our other kids. I don't know what's going on here, Ashley. You will not stay on here. You won't stay on here. They really didn't give him any room to breathe. His entire narrative since we've met him was, oh my God, where's Marge? Is that Marge? I love Marge, the love of my life. Oh my God, my pumpkin pie. It's been all about her. So we kind of knew where it was. This was, I say, not them giving us a whole Titanic moment in this episode. This was so well acted. I really felt for this baby. I really felt for him. I was, and I know you guys like, Marge didn't deserve this, Marge. It did not feel earned because we spent so much time just trying to embrace Marge after everything that she's done instead. So to have him sacrifice himself in this way was really tragic. And then it was just very, very poly coded. I say all of the Cuban, Italian, colored ain't safe. Ain't nobody safe here. And I think that this was supposed to be a repeat type of situation to really get at Will, even though, baby, he's already down. But he says verbatim, I would never let my friends die the way you did. And it kind of went down the exact same way, even though Will didn't have a hand in it. But baby, him pushing and forcing it, I was like, oh, Marge, baby, we not gonna act like you not 2 times bigger. You not 2 times bigger than Richie. You couldn't force that cooler open, girl. Get out of there and get him in there. But at that moment, the verbiage of him being a knight and, knights do X, Y, and Z, it all came into fruition in this moment. And he felt like he needed to sacrifice himself so that one of them could live. He says, I love you, Marge. And he goes all the way down to the first time that they met. And I saw you in the hallway. And I was like, oh, wait. It was very, very touching, but I hated to see it. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
It's probably the only love Marge will ever get in her whole life. It should have been her. It should have been her. And although this was kind of a touching moment, I think they were so heavy-handed with the lead up to this that it didn't. And I'm a cry baby. I love to cry. I love a good cry. And as beautiful and as sweet as baby Richie was, all I was at this moment was inundated with anger. Because Margie, why couldn't it have been you? And we knew it, and we knew he was gonna pass at the hand of the YTs and not Pennywise, because Richie didn't operate in fear really like the rest of them. We never really saw Richie in a really fearful moment, and of course that made him easy prey here, because I have honor and integrity, and we know how Tyra feels about people with honor and integrity in these shows, willing to risk it all. The smoke inhalation seems to have done little Richie in, and it was what it was. What I will say is very interesting to me, and what I'm kind of noting from it, is the parallel that we see between a Leroy and a Will in these moments. And what does that look like? How does Will feel? Because he and Ronnie brought them here. Is he going to somehow feel responsible, especially after his whole monologue about, I would never leave my friends or kill my friends? And now we find him in this position, and really interesting to see how he's going to develop in the future based on the events that happened at the Black Spot. Overall, like I said, I really, really wanted this to mean more. And I don't really know if they could have done it in the amount of episodes that they did, but I wanted the Black Spot to mean more to the people. I think it was just built, and so we really didn't have time to revel in it, relish in it. You got one night of, some slow 30s swing music, and then it was all burnt to hell. But no, Richie in this moment, actors, these babies acted down. That's one thing I will never take away from these child actors. I think they showed up to work, and they did just that. And their scenes and their interaction, it was cute. I think this is the most beautiful display of puppy love that we've seen in a show in a very long time. Rest in peace, Richie. Gone too soon. And it shouldn't have been you, Buki. It shouldn't have been you. And where was his raggedy parents? His abuela, his tío, his tia. Where were they at? Questions that need answers.
That's what I'm saying. He was always here to die. We never met a parent. We never went on down to Richie's house. We didn't really get into his interests. We didn't even really have a separate moment of Pennywise trying to get at him, even if he was fearless. Pennywise is going to try you, and said, baby, I've been scared. I'm not even going to the bathroom at night. I've been peeing in bottles. So there was some fear there. This was just really here for those parallels between Will and Leroy. But I just hate the way that all of the colored people are portrayed here in the show. And it's so sacrificial, and I don't like it. I feel like we've had enough white privilege over there with Lily and somebody like a Kirsch, and just the narratives that are painted. So when we have it doubled down on, like you said, that Black Spot was never really fleshed out. And I don't know how fleshed out it is in the book either, but it's giving, they were just here to die. They were never supposed to mean anything. It was never supposed to really be a moment. Richie was strictly here just for this moment. And I really hate that. I would have loved, because I think everybody was and very understood that Marge and the I'm going to tell people X, Y, and Z Lily was not enough redemption for her. So I think everybody just wanted her to kind of step up in this moment and take that, because it's really been Richie this entire time pouring into her, and, oh, I love you, and my crush, and I'm going to hold your hand in the dark, and this. She didn't really just give that, and they really didn't have enough time to cook. But it also just looks bad because they didn't. And it's like, baby, you sacrificed yourself for someone you barely didn't, you didn't know, and you just had a little baby crush on this. And it's Marge. We haven't seen the best from Marge since we've met her. So I don't know. I don't know, but they were acting so well. That's what made it real for me, because I knew that this was coming. They were giving Rose and Jack on the Titanic. I had a little thought. I was like, oh my God, Richie, no. Rich, no. I had a little piece of tear because I really felt for him, and it was just such a noble thing to do. But nobility has no place here. You be noble if you want to. You're gonna die. You're gonna die, and that's just how that's gonna go. Thank you so much for the super chat. I started crying as soon as the fire started. It was too real, and I was mad. Then y'all want to kill Rich? Dick could have at least saved them kids ASAP. If Dick would have moved with a little bit of haste, he could have saved them. The fact when that door or whatever that frame fell, it was just like, well, that's all I can do for them. He didn't even try. Nobody really tried, even with all of the adults in there. And I'm not saying that this isn't a heightened situation and this is absolutely terrible, but all the way from that black spot we're offering, what is it, Air Force hooch or whatever the hell that was. We're giving them cognac down. We're smoking, we playing the drums, and it's very adultified in here. This was not some type of kid sanctuary, whether Hank was there or not. And nobody in that black spot, especially black people at this time, were alarmed. Nobody really cared. And then when we got here and everything went off, nobody thought to really get or grab those children. They were getting trampled over, pushed over. Like, yeah, I'm about to use you as a shield in any minute now. And that just doesn't make sense for me. These are black men and women. And 62? And nobody thought about these children. Nobody. Okay. We need to make
sure he did got taken out immediately.
Yeah, I wanted a little bit more. I'm so sorry. Just a little bit. Now, baby, getting over here, because this was hilarious. This was so funny. I really like Pennywise. He's so animated here, but in like a really menacing way. I've never been, and I'm still not because it's Pennywise. But Pennywise, to me, he's never like really struck fear in anybody's heart. And it's like, oh my goodness, it's never been like a jump scare moment for me with him or anything. He's just fun and goofy, and we're gonna do that little dance. And he did that little dance here. I love a little dance moment, but the way that he was rolling up here on Kirsch was very, very menacing. I love that her husband was just there. I was like, okay, Hank is about to pop out and redeem himself and steal that car. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why I be trying to give Hank any room to move. But he's just here to go, oh my God, what the hell are you doing out here dressed like that? And it took all the way to this moment for him to slice and dice your abusive husband to go, you know what? I don't think you're my papa at all. You're not my papa. I was like, girl, what is the delay? This was wild. But the way, even from the previous episode when they initially met, the way he plays on Kirsch's time is just absolutely hilarious. Like, bring it in, give Papa a hug your daddy. I'm about to go to sleep. I had my little grub, had a good time, danced on down. And the flames. I'm about to go to sleep. Don't worry though. I'm gonna be back real soon. Just go on, take care of yourself. When Pennywise, like I said, when Pennywise looks at you and go, oh, you crazy. Yeah, you be cool, baby. And it's like, you know what? I don't have time for this. The fact that I thought in 35, I think that she saw those deadlights. She never saw the deadlights, not even at that moment. She just saw her papa. And you didn't see any deadlights up until right now. This has all been cursed. This is wild. This is wild. You are really this delusional and this crazy. And of course, we know what these deadlights do. They blind you. You're pretty much catatonic, can't move, can't breathe, can't think, do anything for yourself unless someone takes the time and come and wake you up, or Pennywise wants to roll up and feed on you later. But that's it once you see them. This was a really, really entertaining scene, and I enjoyed it so much. Ashley, what did you think about this?
I think Kirsch should have shut your mouth, and you'd have been fine, because it was like in this moment when he gives the hug, he's looking and he's like, oh, I kind of want you to. I kind of want her to. And she's like, oh, Papa, did I do a good job? Yes. Hold on, who was your papa again? Like, you can see he's going back like, oh, yeah. And then she want to snap crazy, and she had to see the deadlights, baby. He was almost out of there, Periwinkle. What I don't believe, and what I think I'm having to suspend belief around, is the fact that she orchestrated all of this chaos and mayhem and been doing it since day one. Like, oh, if I smash the black dude and all this happens while he out, he ain't gonna have an alibi. And then if I bring him over here, I know it'll cause death, destruction, and decay, and that'll bring you out, Papa. And then after all this time, again, this is another reason, another check mark that can go in my case against her biological father. Because, girl, you think your daddy was capable of this? You thought when you was feeding Mabel and the child of the week back in Juniper Hills all those years that this was your daddy? All right, girl. I mean, in this moment, her realization, I was really hoping he was just going to eat her. I really, really was. It was the fact that he was like, oh, she does supply me with my needs, so as long as she's cool right here. All right, I'm about to take my 27-year nap, Bookie. I'll see you later. You're not my papa. You're not my papa, Periwinkle. You deserved every bit of that, and you deserved worse. So I guess we're to believe now, because the deadlights make you insane, right? So she's literally going to be in Juniper Hill until we see her emerge all these years later as an elder. This was too good for her. This was too good for her. And I really do think it's indicative of a certain type of woman that we see every day. Just the amount of privilege that you're walking in. This really, I'll do anything to get what I want, and I'll sacrifice whoever. Anybody can get this work. I wish her nothing but the worst. I wanted him to eat her brains, like he did Kirsch the butcher. Yeah, this was too good for her. It was really too good. And I really don't think she was that smart. Periwinkle, aka Mrs. Kirsch, I don't think was as smart as she would have needed to be to really engineer all of these events. But hey, if that's what they're wanting to sell us, I'll go with it.
That's what I wanted. I wanted an explanation. That's why I assumed that he got her in those dead lights before and he was controlling her. They were maybe conversing on some front. He was playing around in her head, getting her to move, to maybe do things in spaces where he couldn't. The dead lights just hit now. Like, this was all you. Like, you plotted to go over there and Ronnie and Hank and Hope. That just doesn't make sense. She's crazy to a point where I don't think that she could manipulate people. And this says a whole lot about Hank. Really, Hank? Really? You just this was just rocking your world. The way he was kissing her down in the woods, like, oh girl, really? This was just a bit much. And it's like, well, yeah, I knew if I did it, you would come. Like, I had to get you out here. That's why I orchestrated all this down at the black spot. Really? You did? Okay. I mean, you snitched or whatever, but you had that forethought to know that I'm going to put all of these things in motion and get connected to Charlotte, and I'm going to do. It's just a whole lot of work that I don't think she's equipped to put forward if we're dumb enough in this entire time to still believe up until this moment that this was Papa. Crazy.
But can I add just one little thing on this? Because I will give credit where credit is absolutely due. And I don't know how I felt about the showrunner popping up back in the olden days. I was like, why are you making cameos, sir? But as far as Pennywise in these scenes, I thought he looked great. I thought the deadlights looked great. I thought when he opened his mouth and we're going in there, I thought the use of shadow and light, this all gave me all of the vibes. I was like, this looks beautiful. And it's not supposed to look beautiful, but it looked really, really good. I just want to throw that in there. It looked really good.
No, it was. I thought that was such a smart decision to transition into kind of us being in the dead lights. I was like, hold up, don't do that. don't censory me, sir. I don't like that. But this is definitely the best for me that the dead lights have ever looked. We've only had so many moments with it, and I think this director, he's had time with these characters and Pennywise to kind of perfect things where maybe we didn't really get. We sure wasn't getting it in the 90s, child, and we didn't get it there in the movies because the lighting here and the cinematography and these enhancements that are on Pennywise in the show, he looks so saturated, and it was a little jarring for me at first, but in the backdrop of things like the fire and how dark it is and its contrast of the lights, this was great. I was like, boy, don't put me in the dead lights. I don't need the problems. I don't need any of that. Thank you so much, Jantis, for the super chat. These child actors are so good, so good, so good. Baby, talk about Will talking to the camera on that phone. Said, I'm not scared. So you better act down, Will. Rich was so good. That's why I didn't want him to die. I was like, oh my goodness, this little boy is really acting. These are ones to keep an eye out for because they're only going to get better from here. It's really been amazing. If F around and found out was a person, Kirsch got it. He was so over her talking about Papa. The fact that he entertained her this entire time, though, like, I'm gonna let you think you have some control over when and if I come out, or that you're doing something. Like, hey, more fun for me. Less work that I have to do to get things going and come in here and feast. But this damn fool, this was very, very entertaining. It looked beautiful. I was like, oh my goodness, her body lifted. It's all lit well, and it's dark as hell out here. Come on now, production, y'all got some money. But okay, the disappointment, because I was already mad last episode when Charlotte brought the children there. You already did the situation with Hank, and we knew where this was going with Kirsch and a common friend of interest. But to bring and leave those kids there, not just Ronnie, you left your own damn kid there. I've been so irritated with Leroy and Charlotte, especially Leroy, because, hell, even Charlotte, we've been under that delusion that this entity is just the only evil that's present in Derry. So as long as we're on the base, or we're here, or we're amongst other black people, maybe they're safe. No, they're not safe. And why would you want to leave kids in a bar and hoochie coochie and all that other jazz that was going on down there? That was crazy. The fact that all of that happened that night and we don't see them until the morning. What were you doing? Were you asleep? What were you doing? We're on the base. So that means Leroy didn't go home. Charlotte, you didn't go home. Y'all didn't go check to see if Will. We already know where Ronnie's at. We know where Hank is. And we know where Granny is. But I'm like, where's Richie's people? Where's Marge's people? Where are your parents? But after we, say our goodbyes to Richie, I was like, oh, pour out a little liquor. I hated it. I hated it so much. But we have them double down. Okay, it's getting real bad. You could have died, son. We could have lost you. Okay. And it's like, you know what, Charlotte, I understand it's real now. After I finish everything I'm doing and retrieve those stones and report back to the general, we're getting our stuff and we're getting out of here. And Charlotte basically does the same thing because it's her duty and obligation solely to help Hank. And we are leaving Will out here to dry. It irritates my soul. We see, child, because Hank, old Dick and Hank, they're just going to make it out. Dick is sitting here just damn near catatonic himself because I love the transition of the dead people. I was like, oh, yes, come on, Red Rum. I love it. It was definitely giving The Shining when we have all of these recently deceased black people coming to terms with them being dead and whispering to Dick, you need to do something. What you gonna do? Nothing. He not gonna do nothing, but them just kind of zooming in on him and towering around him. It was very thriller video. I really enjoyed it and very reminiscent of The Shining and the Overlook Hotel. But this is a lot on him. We just see his state. And the both of them are, well, hey, we might still be a little safe because that thing disappeared. I don't feel it. I think it went to sleep. But we can still get to those stones and find them because now I have a gateway through our elder indigenous woman. We're still here with the agendas. All these black people died. These people are dead. You almost lost your son, and we're still here on a mission. This is wild to have Leroy sit here with a straight bold face and say, after this is done, we're getting the hell out of Derry. I'm getting my family out of here. No, you're not, because we saw you down there, Leroy. You never made it out. So what happened? This was awful, and I hated to see it. Ashley, what did you think about this?
It pissed me off. It pissed me off because first of all, Charlotte, you invited a lot of this chaos because first of all, why are we bringing Hank again to the only black people spot in town? The spot anybody would go looking for a black person. I would have immediately taken him to the reservation, which we see her do later, but somewhere off the grid, somewhere where them people ain't gonna go and ain't gonna frequent and aren't gonna think that he's there. So not only that, but you've endangered all of these people. Then you're gone for 8 hours, and if it's a small town, you didn't hear the fire trucks, you didn't hear the commotion, you didn't see the smoke, the flames rising above. You're right there, like the fact that they were out hunching, doing whatever they were doing pissed me off. And Leroy, he never loved these people. He never loved his wife. He never loved his child. And all he thinks about is this damn country. And what's pissing me off even more is you see everything. Charlotte seems to have finally gotten a revelation. No, it's not the people, just the people, Leroy. It's the city. It's the town. It's Derry. Derry's evil. Evil is good. And he's just like, well, you know what? I'm going to do this one more thing. And then me, you, and Will, we're out of here. We're really leaving this time. Leroy, you are going to be here by yourself. And she's a fool to sit there. She's a fool. And I know it's Derry. It's Penny. It's all those things that can't leave. People have left Derry. This hoe could leave Derry. You got everybody on speed dial. You got Brother Minister on speed dial. Call the Fruits of Islam. Call the nation. They will come and get you. If nobody else will, if you really got their number, Charlotte, they will come and get you. As far as Dick, he's been trash. What can I say? I hope they torment him all of his days. We know they're not, but I wish they would. Because you got to pay a price, because at the end of the day, it's never about anybody else but him. He is one of the most selfish characters that we've ever seen. It's always been about his comfort, his creature comforts, what he can do, and how he can feel esteemed, because that makes me feel good, because I did this for you all. This was me. The black spot, that was me. But now you're kind of confronted with this, and the fact that we're just going to exploit a spirit now, you're going to exploit the indigenous spirit now. All right. They're just all trash. Like I said before, my opinion has not changed. It's only gotten worse. Leroy and Dick can go jump off a high bridge, Tyra. I hate everything about it. There's no way you see your baby almost burned alive in this town and you're not like immediately, Charlotte, I'm going to stay. Even if he wanted to stay, because he's fearless. But this is not safe for you or Will. And this isn't the first series of events that have happened over the last few days. So common sense would say, send your wife and your child away right now. Not after this next mission, not after this final thing. And what pisses me off even more is the thing that makes Leroy finally react. And it's not his family. Anyway, I'm off his head right now. But yes, they all pissed me off, even Charlotte and her fake phone calls. Because who are you calling? I've never heard anybody on the other end.
She called nobody. Like, I don't get the hype. And I'm thinking with the way that things have unfolded, maybe down in Louisiana, Charlotte wanted to be more involved, and it looked good on paper. And maybe we did do a sit-in or two, a protest, but when it all comes down to it, you definitely want the one with the high connections in the forefront to say, Brother Malcolm, Brother Minister Martin, and them. Medgar, y'all come on down here and help us out. It was never giving that, and it shouldn't have taken that. Regardless of whatever the agenda is here, your first priority between the both of you is supposed to be Will. I just feel so sorry for that baby. But when they came out here, we almost lost you, man. We almost lost you out here. Will got, boy, you could have died, man. Get in the car, man. I said they don't love this baby. They don't love this baby, but like I said, we were gonna have to sit here and break Will down to get to where we get to later when he's in his 30s. We knew it was coming, but I didn't know that there wouldn't be a black soul walking that I didn't want to root for. Nobody. And I don't want to hear nothing about the stronghold of Derry and Pennywise. It's there, but I don't think we're gonna see it like take that strong, like, okay, overhaul to where every single person walking is just a degenerate menace until like the moments that whatever aspires next episode. This is still Leroy and this is still Charlotte, and these are just the choices that they are making, whether it's heightened by Pennywise or not. They haven't even tried to leave or put Will first. I'm disgusted. Oh man, let me get the super chat here. I don't like it. We almost lost you there. Thank you so much. I saw a post with a pic of Marge holding Rich and Richie holding Eddie. Like mother, like son. They both lose their first loves. I just hated it. I didn't want any. I knew somebody had to die. I really thought that they were going to go out like little star-crossed lovers and, burn or whatever, smoking intellect together. I didn't think that it would just be just purely sacrificial, all about Marge. We just met her. Thank you so much, Jay Buggin. My Gma was born in 1950. She told me her and her siblings would be at these parties. Sometimes they would make them stay in the kitchen. I just didn't realize why I just want to know why didn't nobody try to get them children. That's all. I don't care what was going on. I'm getting these children. I am. But that's just me. But the one child we didn't have to get because she was nowhere to be found down at the function. She wasn't there. So I'm taking a break. Y'all already tried to take my Precious last episode. The Precious. Because I get to hold the gun. I'm Bishop. We Robin Rodimus. And I'm holding everything. Can't nobody else touch it. What y'all not going to do is call me crazy and not follow through with my plan. I'm spent. I don't even know why I ever tried to help y'all, especially the likes of Ronnie. All I ever tried to do was be a good person. I'm going home. I'm a little bewildered, turned out, exhausted, tired, broken. But I'm safe, I'm secure, and I'm for damn sure protected because I'm sure she still has that little shard of glass. Actually, Lily was on break. How did you feel about Lily being nowhere near the action?
Typical. You know, the people that cause all the chaos and mayhem, they're always hiding in the cut. They live forever, Tyra. And we also know that this is Periwinkle's protege. She'll be feeding bodies to Pennywise next thing we know. So it was good that she wasn't there, but also bad that she wasn't there. Because why doesn't she have to go through anything serious? You know what I mean? Something not imagined, something not in her head, not her dad in the pickle jar, but actually real flames. I think this would have done her some good. But it really was annoying because I really didn't need to see Lily at all. We didn't need to report back to her and tell her she ain't know Richie like that. She ain't like Richie like that. What we got to go tell her for? Yeah, he's gone. You know, the black spot, well, we went without you anyway because, you know, we wanted to do X, Y, or Z. And really, she shouldn't have been there anyway because she was going to tell too. So it's like Lily couldn't be trusted. She needed to be. Honestly, you want to know my real opinion, Tyra? Lily needs to be at Juniper Hills. She needs to be in a padded cell in a straitjacket until she can work through some of these issues. Because again, outside of Pennywise, outside of Derry, this young lady just has issues. She needs to be on a hold somewhere, in my opinion. But no, I don't think it's fair that she gets to skate. I don't think it's fair that she can lead everybody into the mouth of drama and trauma, and then she's sitting home in her, I won't even call it well-acquainted bedroom, but her somber bedroom. I didn't need to see Lily this episode. And she looked a mess. Is she sick?
Dark, deep hues. It was very ha 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 ha. Baby, is Bella gonna pop out? Like, what's really going on? Are you sitting there by the window watching the days go by? I just that was just so traumatic, and we know that that's something that's going to stick with everyone who survived for the rest of their life, especially her so-called friends. To see, watch, hear, death, flesh burning, and like to think that you're going to die, like it was just too much. And it's just not the equivalent to her pickle daddy rolling up every time he decides to pop out of that jar. I just didn't like her being completely protected and unscathed. And unbeknownst to me, what happened? Oh, not Richie. Well, let's go on down there and reminisce over him and gather some teens because we need to go talk to his mama. We didn't even get to see that. They said Rich was here for one purpose and one purpose only. I don't know. The privilege just jumps out with Lily in the worst ways, but she's definitely not okay. She's not. But get on my nerves. Leroy gets on my damn nerve. Leroy said, "You lied to me." Leroy can be a bunch of things. Even this whole crusade and let's do it for our country, and I got to be a representation for my race and stick out and drop a mission. Who? Save my family and go where? No, this is first priority because I worked too hard to get here. I'm Leroy. Like, I'm Air Pilot Leroy. Fine. Leroy just comes off as just an idiot, and I hate it because these are very highly educated people. He never. It was very, very Malcolm X. Like the idea of betrayal never enters your mind. It's just, well, he said that, and we kind of got that too. I think we were all under the impression early on that this was, a weapon of mass destruction type thing. And how are we going to harness Pennywise and cage it and use it against an enemy? How does that even make sense? And of course, we get here, and he's just as crazy. It's like, well, yeah, we're actually trying to break the barriers, let it out and set it free. Just a little, all them blacks down there, the kids lost. It's just a little collateral damage, Stuff happens. This is a man who is really trying to get back to the old ways of the world. He said things are getting out of hand. Them women over there trying to have rights and get jobs. Things are just crazy around here. Pennywise can put all of that to rest. Are you insane? The fact that we can be in the presence and see these things, and we've had Francis have an up close and personal moment with this demonic damn entity. Yeah, you know what? That can fix America. It's very metaphoric and symbolic in a whole lot of ways to be this delusional right on over there with Kirsch, to think that we can use it or summon or control. It's not that, and the reasons why we want to. This is wild, but Leroy is only alarmed and frustrated and drawn his gun. Not only because you lied, but you didn't tell me that that's what we were using it for. Now you're messing with my mission. Now you're messing with my country. You're messing with my folks. Now I see that you're crazy. This is not what I stand for. This is not what I've worked for. He's like, well, Leroy, you wanted to be an upstanding man and do something for your country. This is it. Oh, now I got to draw my guns. I was like, what are you going to do here? Not only do you draw your guns, but you go upstairs and tell this man exactly what you're going to do. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's see what happens when I report you. I'm going to walk right out of like, Leroy, please. But the fact that he was so fiberglass that this man lied to me, he was shocked. He was shook. You lied to me and had a different agenda? You got me here under false pretenses? You're not for the blacks? You don't care about those people, all those kids that died, or all the other people that were presumably died because you're trying to unleash something so diabolical? Oh yeah, I gotta draw my guns now. But I'm gonna let you walk and tell the man behind you, make sure he doesn't leave Derry. He don't even need to leave the base. This this is pathetic. I hate this. And then you have that damn we break the barrier and we're burning it, we're melting it down, and you have Pennywise do a little shimmy because Pennywise was asleep. We're waking it back up. I didn't even know that this was an option. But Pennywise rose up like, oh, it's room for me to play. I have a window. Let me get my ass up. This was wild work, and I'm never, ever, ever not disappointed in Leroy. Ashley.
Yeah, he's to disappoint. He's the gift that keeps on giving. But I mean, this is not far fetched in the way that certain powers rule, right? Like fear has always been a mechanism to use as a means of controlling the people. And I mean, it was, par for the course in my opinion, and really reflective of a lot of stuff that we see today, right? I think Dexter Daddy is just symbolic of the powers that be that really do unleash fear tactics to keep people in line, right? He said, everything's moving too fast for me. Everything's changing. You see what happened over there? It's because people aren't under control. Fear will control the people. And it's the fact for me that Leroy, being this really astute man that we're supposed to believe has this education and all of this time served in the service, and who's really risen in the ranks because of not only his fearlessness, but his prowess as a major or whatever he is, the fact that you go into here so ill-equipped, so ill-prepared, you have a little bitty weapon, a little hand weapon that you're going to use to subdue this group of military people. You think they're going to let you walk out of here? Like, do you think you're bigger than the program is what I'm saying. But as far as Harry, look, Shaw, I'm so disappointed in Francis. I really, really am. The coolest thing I saw, though, in the scenes in this part of the episode was Pennywise in his lair. He was like, damn it, you're waking me up? What are we doing here? And again, it was the fact that Leroy couldn't even follow through. If you were really about that life, and you got the blicky and you fearless anyway, take as many of them out as you can and try to get the dragon glass, brother. It was just so incomplete and so unfulfilling and just so dumb, because what are you going to do tomorrow, Leroy? You're going to report for duty because that's what that man told you to do. I really, at this point, you know what it is. You know everything's crooked. So now, what are you going to do? You didn't have time, them 8 hours you weren't seeing about your son, to think of a plan. You knew everything that was going on. You knew the possibility. You knew things aren't on the up and up. You know this is a dummy mission. You been knew that part, Leroy. I don't know. This was all just really, and it for me, again, you didn't take this action. You didn't get active about your family like this. But this is what you get active about?
Now he got super active. As soon as they told him he couldn't get in the back of the truck with the glass, well, wait a minute, we found this together, myself and Dick. I need to go and see this through. It's like, no, we don't need you in here. You guys are trying to destroy it. When you lied to me? Yeah, because they're just incapable of lying to you, Leroy. Leroy is an ass. Thank you so much for the super sticker. It's very much so appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, redeem himself. There's no redemption at this point. We'll get to it because baby, who else is gonna die? Because we know Leroy makes it. Getting over here because I've been patient with my indigenous folks. They were like, well, yeah, how many people died? Let's take a little tally. How many? 23 adults, 23 blacks, kids. Oh, how many? Well, that's par for the course. But at least we're doing our job and keeping it contained. It's very much keeping it contained. I don't know. Even the way that it feels like Frances played on her top a little bit. I was glad that our indigenous Jacob babe back here survived, but with no help, from the fam, he could have been a goner in the position that we put him in. But with them kind of being so lax and it's this tradition, we don't really get involved. We make sure those barriers are in place and we wait it out and we go on our merry way. We can only do so much. But of course, we've removed some of that, letting Pennywise out of the barrier and jeopardizing everything. Ashley, did you want our indigenous people to be a little bit more active, or were they doing exactly what they needed to do?
This is what I told you. Them people weren't getting involved. They said my name's Bennett and I'm not in it as long as they don't cross this line onto our lands. Very Twilight coded. Yeah, we ain't got nothing to do with it. We can't do nothing to them people. We're gonna wait. And I really like that we did get to see the council one last time, and you see kind of different people and their reactions to it. Like, damn, we just had to sit and watch all these casualties. How many kids was it? How many people died in the black spot? No, but this isn't our battle. We wait these out. It keeps us safe, and I'll see you guys in another 27 years. I kind of always knew they kind of had a tribal rule about this. Like, this is something that we don't get involved in. Ain't got nothing to do with us. We know the cycle. We're basically the watchers on the wall to make sure it doesn't come over here. I respect staying out the people business. I mean, and is there anything that they could have done to change the situation or help it? That's kind of the way I have to look at this, and like analytically. Other than that, I mean, it's self-preservation. I think a lot of people should mind their own businesses in a lot of situations, and it would prevent a lot of different things from happening. But also, does that kind of make you complicit? If you have this knowledge and you're not willing to share, it's definitely a moral conundrum and dilemma. But it sounds like this is what they've been doing for hundreds of years since the entity has come, and it's probably something that they're bound to within their tribe. Like, this is just something we don't do. We don't interfere in the affairs of man. That's just something we don't do. But I think now, the position that they're in now, especially with Hank being brought there, they're going to be forced to step out of their boundaries. And also, this is setting a precedent. When they released that boundary and incinerated the dragon glass that was keeping him at bay, I think it's going to be new rules and a new game. And I think we see something different from the tribe in the final episode.
I think I was just more so bothered. We our people didn't align in the show to kind of keep the same energy. It didn't really feel like a whole lot of unity there. I like that they have this connection, and it was a bit hands off. Like, well, yeah, you know that. What you want me to do about it? Like,
Kids go.
yeah, just be cute. I wanted a little bit more interaction between our indigenous community and our black community, and we didn't really just get that. It is extremely self-contained and self-preservation, but I hated that we didn't get any of that on our side. It just felt like stupidity and every man for himself, and we have leaders like Leroy and Hank. I was like, I would have liked to be cute also. Just even if we were going to suffer and have some loss, there was no unity. There were no leaders. There was just nothing. I was like, damn. I don't know, but I just thought that we would talk and we would have moments where it was Charlotte and Leroy and Hank and just a whole like, well, yeah, that's them over there, but we have to protect each other. No, it was literally indigenous of us. Like, are you in here? Are you in the house? If you're not in the house, I'm just gonna tell you keep your kids close. I just wanted us to kind of keep that same energy and be on our type of timing. And we knew it was, and I knew Charlotte wasn't on that when she went out there all about, oh, you're not gonna whoop on this show. What's going on here in Derry? Didn't I was like, girl, the indigenous people said that ain't in my business. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Let me get over here to Rose's Bud. Let's see. Lily should have been down there where her shank helping. Not with her shank. What happened to being a lifeboat? I told y'all what purpose Lily is serving. I want to know how it's going to go out and what connections we're going to draw. Like, she has to have a higher purpose than what we've been seeing all this time. I thought she had a tie-in with Kirsch, but I'm not too sure about that anymore. I'm not too sure. But after everything happens, all the death has transpired, Charlotte says, I know someone who can help us. Charlotte, you met her first. She was the first person to reach out to you. Come on down to your house. Give you a little piece of inkling that everything in Derry wasn't clean. Why wasn't this the first place that you took Hank? Why? They out the way. They definitely protected baby Jacob. They definitely protected him. I didn't know why it took all of that to try to bring him there. And then not only do we bring him here, but it's like, yeah, Will, you're gonna stay home. Will, you're gonna stay home. You don't need to come. We're gonna, get this man in safety, and you're gonna stay home. I just don't get leaving Will alone. There would never be a moment, especially at this point, where I'm leaving Will by himself. I don't give a damn if I'm going on down here, but we're one band, one sound. We're all leaving here together. But this is all a tactic to me. Everybody's here together, so when the mess goes down, we're gonna lose even more people because of now. Of course, now we have a mission once we get to the end with Will, and everybody's just here, and our gang's here. I'm sure her nephew is gonna come, and Hank is there, and Ronnie's there, and we were trying to get Hank to safety, but now we're on a mission to rescue Will. But this Saving Private Hank mission, Charlotte irritates my soul. She irritates my soul. I just don't see the mother that I thought we were getting in that first episode. It gave very no nonsense, and I'm gonna not my baby. Yeah, not my baby unless I have something that I want to do because I want to be a radical and be out here in the streets. And yeah, who saved you? It's like they have a point to prove. Her and her husband, because I helped Hank. Yeah, and I'm fighting for my country. Yeah, what about your baby? Actually, how did you feel about us at this point now after all that death? We're gonna take Hank on down here the roads.
I think if Hank really wanted to sacrifice himself for the greater good, he would have went ahead and did that. At this point, I think he's as selfish as he was when he ran out on his child that night to get that elder whitey puss. What is it? Ooh, the consequences of your damn actions. Do you think this is 1990? Do you think you're a man of the 90s and can be out here absconding with white women, sir? Like, it could have been worse for him. He could have been. Listen, the end result would have been the same. Whether they caught him with her that night, whether it was the kid situation, any of that. Hank has really brought a lot of this on himself by making piss poor decisions. Not only as a man, but as a man with a child. Like, you're a father, for heaven's sakes. I hate all of this, and I hate that Charlotte is taking this as her personal mission when her house is crumbling. Charlotte, baby, your first ministry is to your house, to your husband, to your child. I don't see me riding all over Tarnation with him covered up in the back seat, and I'm trying to get him to point A and point B of the Underground damn railroad. No, Hank is a grown ass man who got himself in this conundrum. He's already escaped. So go, sir, go. Go. They ain't got the hounds on you like they would in Mississippi. Go on and be free, buddy. Get to running. You know what I mean? Like, we watched Underground. They went 1,200 miles on foot through swamps, getting bitten by snakes. Journey was pregnant. Rosalie was pregnant over there, sir. He has no excuse. And Charlotte, stay out of these people's business. I was honestly really surprised that Rose took him in. Again, the reservation would have been my first thought because I feel like they're somewhat protected and have their own kind of community there. But this isn't going to last long. He's going to bring Pennywise right there. Yeah, Pennywise is on his way. And now it's really going to be an issue because they're going to break their secret oaths or whatever it is. I really hate that Charlotte seems to care more about this man than she does about her child who's clearly going through it right now. I don't like the optics of it. I don't like how any of this looks. Hank, you got to get it where you live, baby. You decided to drop trowel for that elder cat, and I fear you need to get yourself out of it. You a grown-ass man at this point. I'm tired. I was tired, boss.
No, the optics are definitely awful. I really hate that Hank is so helpless. We haven't seen Hank. At this point, it's every man for himself, especially when you made it off of the Shawshank Redemption bus. Baby, get out there. Get it out the mud. He's waiting to be saved by a white tea woman and a black woman. Like, where is Ronnie? Where is, like, are you making sure I never hear him vocalize putting any things into play to make sure he's protected. All we had was that little brief embrace and oh my baby and Will. That's what we got. Will, hey, gentleman friend, gentleman caller, make sure you take care of my baby. It's nice to know that my baby gonna be taken care of. Like, what are you talking about? This is just odd. Hank, you are not the man that I wanted you to be. It's not even like, well, if I'm whatever, at least Ronnie still has her mother. It was always just you. So the fact that you jeopardized it to lay it low and spread wide with this old heifer is wild. It's wild. Like you were sucked from the beginning because you lied about where you were and who you were with, and you couldn't even. Oh, I just hate it. But he's just so like, it's very like, oh, what we's gonna do? I don't know what we's gonna do. Post haste, move your ass. It's just very shiver and sweat. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. It's like he's been buck broken. Whew, okay. I just want, I want some folks in the writers' room. I don't feel like our people were in there. They weren't in there because it's okay to have a Hank. It's okay to have a Dick. It's okay to have a Leroy. You don't have all three simultaneously in one show in one small ass Derry town. So all the black man's trash, baby. Lies. You just can't have a trifecta here. I think it's too much, and they're doubling down on these black men in the worst way, and I hate to see it. Thank you so much. Not everyone deals with trauma or grief the same. I agree with some of the things that you guys said about Lily, but I do think that witnessing the kids at the theater broke her. She seems lost. She's definitely lost, but that doesn't make up for everything that she's done and took part in her, helping that's transpired since the incidents in the theater. It felt like she was more so broken down because the kids no longer had 100% faith in her, and that was broken. And they also wanted a little piece of that precious. The moment we couldn't follow through with that plan and she couldn't make it right, then we were broken all the way down. That we had plan on top of plan on top of plan, and we're just supposed to follow and go with my lead because I'm Lily and I'm going to make it right and I'm the leader and I'm the white savior. No, you're not. No, you're not. You've been leading little piggies to slaughter since we met you. Girl, go sit down. Stay in that room. The best thing that she could do is stay there. I didn't want her anywhere near it. I don't want any of these kids to per se die. But it does say a lot that in every single circumstance, in every way, I don't give a damn about that little Lucky Charm ass turtle. She's always safe. She's always safe. Spread it on somebody else's cracker.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, as far as Lily is concerned, I gave her grace for many an episode. I don't know if you just got here. We've given Lily, well, I've given Lily grace for being a child, for being naive, and all of those things. But what we can't do is blame it on the trauma. She had that trauma episode too. She had a battery in her back the next episode, ready to go to war about everything. And again, trauma does impact people differently, and I won't take away from her trauma, from the teasing that she endured from bullies at school up into the real trauma that she endured with, seeing all of the things. But it doesn't excuse her actions. And actually, after finding out the truth of the matter, not running back to me and confessing all of that. Lily is her own diabolical, wretched self. Anyway, somebody did ask the question, and I want to ask you as well, Tyra, in the chat. They said, do we think the writing is subpar this season? And for me, I don't think the writing is subpar per se. I don't think that the writer's room is cognizant of their black characters, of how to write black people, and the impact of writing all of these black characters with these major flaws, right? And not saying that we aren't nuanced and have complexity and depth as people, but when you have three black men that are in this with major character flaws, each in different ways, it's very telling. It tells me that they didn't think this all the way through. It's fine to have three characters in an ensemble cast who have issues. What's not okay is to have three black men depicting kind of the worst of us, in my opinion. It's irresponsible. But I think as far as the narrative and pushing us through, the continuity has been fine for the most part. But that's kind of my biggest qualm with the writing.
Definitely. I think the continuity and the pacing has been fabulous this season. I love the way the kids have been flawless. I love these children. They have been acting down, their delivery, their dialogue, the way that they transition between these scenes, the way that we go back and forth between, years and decades removed, and we have that whole impactful indigenous moment. They have been hitting every single bound for me to pique my interest and have me care, because this is an ensemble cast. I care and have some type of investment in everybody here, and that's not easy to do. There are a lot of characters, but if you're throwing Hank, Charlotte, Leroy, and Dick at me, pause. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. And then we surround them and have something that's supposed to be so significant as the black spot. Not to say that would have just made up for anything, but the black spot felt like anything but. It didn't feel like anybody was moving like a Black person would in 62, 63. It just didn't. They feel very unaware and kind of just led out to whatever. It's certain nuances that need to be here for our Black characters, whether they have these particular what feel like tropes to me or not. I could still give some grace if it's like, oh, okay, there's an even. I feel some light there. Charlotte's this, but she's also this. It's just no, this is this one thing. Leroy has been one note since we've met him, and Charlotte has kind of dwindled since we've met her. Hank, just as people, as parents, and the purpose and the motivations that are keeping them here in Derry, it's ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous, and I'm just not a fan. And I just feel like if we were gonna have, a character, I think Dick was enough. I think his character was more than enough. He was more than enough. We could also have Leroy have this do it for our country agenda based narrative to where he can't see the forest for the trees, but we can also spend just as much time showing how brilliant he is, and how it's just everybody just shows up ill-equipped and late. Why? Because you couldn't be ill-equipped and late to get into these positions in the first place, because you have to work 10 times as hard. I don't know, but to have all these people here who could give a damn about anybody else, and I don't give a damn if it's Charlotte, but Charlotte can give a damn about everybody else but her son. And it's not even like, oh, we've been in Derry for years. I know Hank, I know Ronnie, we've seen them grow. We just met them. And not to say that we shouldn't be providing and protecting our own, and Hank doesn't have a purpose to want to be saved, especially with the connection that Ronnie has with Will, but we just met these people. And we're investing, putting our life on the line, our husband's life on the line, and most of all, our sons missed me with that. That was a mistake to me. And it just feels like there aren't a lot of Black people in the writer's room. Everybody else felt kind of on point, and I think I saw and read where we did have an Indigenous writer and that representation on set to make sure that everything was coordinated and fine and straight. But the way that Black spot went down, the the way that they were dancing, the music that was played, the clothes that they're wearing, the vibe, everything, the way that we handled this entire episode, what a Black set, because they weren't in the room. The show's good though. The show's good, but we're gonna always call a thing a thing, and it's lacking in a way that can only be fixed if we're there and we're present. Oh, this was great though. This was so good. I love a Deadlights moment, and the fact that we got 2 in one episode and it was so unexpected. I was like, there's no way that, in the movies we get, one Deadlight moment and we've seen them, and it's always like a good, like, oh my God. This was so good. I love the just position of Will talking to the camera, because you're going to stay here, Will. I was like, Will, you want to pick now to listen to your mama? You've been going off on your bike in them Derry streets, because I'm going to see about my friends. I'm going to be there for them. Now we stay at home alone. Charlotte, you left him there by himself. Crazy. Then when he picked up that phone, said, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not running anymore, because he just knew it was his boo Ronnie. It's like, girl, what you doing, boo? How's it going? Oh my God. It's just like, yes, those lungs were popping and I could just taste it in my mouth. It's like, what? What'd you say? Then when we turn around and his ass was on top of that refrigerator, and the way that the clothes are just so blood soaked that it's left this red residue from here all the way down. It just looks bone red. That was so good. I was like, yeah. What a way to end the episode. I did not expect 2 Deadlights moments in one episode, but I thought this was really great. This was also just a way to get everybody exactly where Pennywise wants them, because now it's not going to be about getting Hank anywhere. And now we have to go and save Will because we left him alone in the first place. The best thing that we could do in these moments is have some unity. Nobody needs to be alone. Pennywise rarely rolls up when you're in packs and you're out and we're friends and it's all of us. No, we know this at this point. We're going to leave our baby by himself and leave him open to even be stricken by some Deadlights. Now we got to save Will. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
I hated it. You know I hated it. I hated it. That's my baby Will. You know I think he's all this good and right in the world. It's for me, it's the fact that as soon as Charlotte meets Rose, Rose meets Charlotte, the one word of advice, the one warning she gives is keep your baby close. Like don't let him out of your sight. Keep him with you. And that's the last thing she's done. Since that time, Will has been alone, has been with his friends, has been running off with no one chasing him. And so now we're here. And I think this will cause a unity to happen to try to save him, of course. But like you said, this is the perfect storm for Pennywise. I'm going to have you guys all in the same spot, all scared and not knowing what to do with this. I'm very interested to see how we get from here. Will was he was the moon dust, Tyra. Like, I don't want him cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, poor baby. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know they better deliver, okay? And they better give me, I know it's going to be cliffhanger vibes, right? But I need an amount of closure. Don't play with me in this finale. That's all I can say. And yes, Operation Save Will. Somebody better save my baby. This is another place where Marge can sacrifice herself. Another way for her to go out. I'm not mad at it. Whatever we got to do to get Will across that finish line.
Baby, we gonna kill Marge. Oh Lord, I think I missed this super chat over here from Jake Buggin. Hank, I know this this white lady wasn't the only woman hitting on you in the theater. This is a small town, shaking my head. Get some clothes, get to Canada, then call Ronnie. He's waiting. Like he's so helpless. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. I don't buy a lot of what these black men represent here. Some of it I do. Even the whole patriotism arc over there with Leroy and how he can't see anything if it's not directly in front of him. But a lot of this is just like, who wrote this? You know what wrote this. Charlotte should have drove Hank out of town. Absolutely. Absolutely. If we want to be that invested, it's like, well, I can get you somebody. But I don't want to do that. I'm not here for that. Like, no, you freedom rider. Go on and get in the vehicle, Charlotte. She wants to just do her good duty and be a good Judy and then get back to her son. And we're leaving immediately. Going where? But with that being said, and the gang's all here, Ashley, who is going to die?
Marge, for sure. Marge, get her out of there. Rose might, honestly. Charlotte's on her way out. I don't think she lives. If she stayed, she's out of here. So Marge, hopefully. Charlotte, maybe. Possibly Rose. I think we might lose an indigenous person. I think she might maybe do some self-sacrificial stuff. Ronnie better live. And Lily, they're gonna hold on to her. She's got the turtle, Tyra. She's gonna live to tell the story. But those are my Marge. Hopefully, ooh, cross our fingers. But Charlotte, I feel it, and maybe Rose, maybe.
I feel like if we were gonna lose Marge, they would have took her right along with Richie or Rich. I don't know. I think some of these people have to, and I don't know if we'll transition and there'll be a reveal of, oh, this is Leroy later on in Derry. This is Marge later on in Derry. But some of these people grow old and, stay there. I don't know what all happened with the representation in the hold of the indigenous people in Derry, but we don't see any of them. I think some of them, may really, leave, but I think there's loss for that to even happen in the sense of we can't contain it like we did in the past. Rose might be out of here. We really don't see Charlotte. I don't know. I think in the books, I think Charlotte dies of cancer. I don't know, but they haven't been sticking to those books that close. And just with where we meet OG Leroy, there's no talk of grandma. There's no talk of Charlotte. I don't know. And where Will eventually ends up as a man, there's incredible loss. Somebody gonna have to make that sacrifice for Will. If it's not Ronnie, then it's It's Mama Charlotte. I would really like for them to subvert everything that we've gotten here in these past episodes and go serve up Lily. Go let Lily do her big one. Let Lily do her big one. If they can come back from the idea of we've been kind of saving her and having this protective aura all around Lily this entire season, with this was her purpose, because she's Lily's so broken. Lily's so broken, and I don't want her, rotting away and drooping her heels or any of that. But I think the idea of redeeming herself, because Lily does feel guilty in at fault, even with her best intentions, things just haven't went well. So if she can do something or have a greater good moment, I'm gonna do this. I think she'll take that. And I would be here for that because I don't want to lose somebody else. I definitely don't want to lose.
It would make sense.
I definitely don't want to lose Ronnie. I do not want to lose Ronnie. Don't do that. We've had enough. We've had enough. I don't want to lose Ronnie, and I don't want to lose Mama Charlotte, but we shall see. I don't think Marge is going anywhere. I don't know. For some reason, I think Marge lives to fight another day. Because if Marge dies, then Rich's sacrifice this episode was for nothing. So I don't think they're going to do that. But Lily could potentially go out, and Charlotte could, and maybe Rose. Don't touch Ronnie. Please. We tired. I need her walking off, even if it's going to end poorly. Let her walk off into the sunset with Will. Please. But getting to Ashley's favorite part. What are your predictions for the last episode?
Like I said, y'all know I don't be over here in the prediction street all like that in this way. However, give me closure. You can give me a cliffhanger, but you better give me closure. Will better be clothed in his right mind after all is said and done, Tyra. He better be clothed in his right mind, and Ronnie better be alive. If the writers know what's good for them, because listen, we done lost too many black lives, all right? We've lost too many. Unless it's damn Hank or Leroy. Well, we know Leroy lives. Unless it's Hank getting it, I don't want to see no more black folks unalived in this series, y'all. Don't do that to me. But no, we have an ultimate showdown. Pennywise is not bound to his 27-year sleep right now. So I'm really wondering, do we have to get another, what is it called, augury or whatever the thing is, the pandemonium, the massacre? I'm like, do we have to go through that whole ritualistic cycle again? I'm really, really interested in what the rules are going to be now that his sleep has been broken. And now that he has Will. I hope Lily comes through with the dragon glass and goes to work. Maybe she self-sacrifices. That would also be nice to see. But yeah, I just hope we get some action. I hope I get a little bit of closure and a cute little cliffhanger, or maybe not, maybe full closure, right? Because we're going backwards in seasons 2 and 3. So yeah, just wrap it up cute. Don't pull anything tricky. Let's keep it cute. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I got.
I think with that barrier being shifty now, Pennywise is really about to get out here and play with the people. Something is going to happen after some massive loss happen in control and manipulation, because I think everything kind of descends down, and the fruits and seeds of Derry and all the people there is just innately evil. But we have to get the groups and the hold on those people. And like you guys see in the chat, those patty cakes, all of those people who grow up and birth them despicable dairy inhabitants, we have to have that. But I think what we're kind of festering in, where it was the patty cake or Bowers, where it was just a little like, oh, okay, yeah, you're evil, you're nasty, but now it's like amplified because now Pennywise is touching on it. And maybe he's preparing to have a larger outreach, because now maybe I have potential to get out of dairy. But we know that it doesn't, but it's just about what's in place to stop it, which gets us back into our indigenous people and more sacrifice and Charlotte. And where are the men? I just don't know, because somebody's going to have to go against the big bad, and there's really no coming back from that. But we know Leroy lives. We know Dick lives. So it's not you two. You guys are probably going to get active and play a role, but you're not going to be on the front lines sacrificing your body. We better get active all of our will. That's all I'm saying. Boy, I don't need any moments of, well, I couldn't even get to my family. They was keeping me held captive on the base. Really, Leroy? Were they? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna have Dick hop out a little bit because he has to get control and box all of those things on him and really maybe get into Pennywise's mind and try to do some things or manipulate those powers. We're gonna need more than just that glass to take it down or put it back to sleep. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what all happens to the people of Derry because they're already trash. What else did we do, Pennywise? I don't know.
You're muted. Oh, What did you guys say in the chat? Dick and Rose are probably going to be the big bads. Oh. He stays in Derry, though. I thought him removing the pillar was for him not to stay there. It was to keep him in the boundaries. But that looked like that was the significance of them destroying it, I think, empowered him or is what woke him up.
Mm-hmm. But it is just that one piece, so I want to see. They're definitely not going to have enough time to go and collect all the pieces. But I think there's going to be an emergence of like, now I'm out, and maybe an almost moment of like, okay, now I'm really about to reign. I'm getting out of Derry, and I'm about to have. It's like no, we're going to put these things back into place and keep you here. That's going to be interesting to see. But I just want to see some people on the front lines, and I know Leroy and Dick are not going to. Whatever Dick does, like, oh, he gonna redeem himself. Ain't no redemption for no redemption. Whatever he does, he's gonna be off, away, not there. We're gonna have Charlotte there, he beating the streets, and those kids, and Rose, and what, Hank? Hank ain't gonna do nothing. I don't know. But Ashley, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, thank you for coming through and supporting the live. We appreciate you so much. Monday nights are so fun talking it. Welcome to Derry. Be sure to drop in the comments below your predictions for next week. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff. We appreciate you. And hey, Tameless Kinks, I see you, girl. Good to see you. It was fun.
Y'all heard what the lady said. Be on the lookout for things that we have coming and support us in everything that we do because it's always a good time. Be sure to join us tomorrow getting into a snowfall retrospective. Finally. And, going down memory lane with that's going to be interesting. I know we haven't seen that in quite some time, but we really appreciate you guys for supporting us and being here, talking Derry with us on a regular basis. And we can't wait to get into the finale. Hopefully it's as satisfying as this episode and it does not piss me off. But we'll definitely see you guys next time for more commentary. And everybody have a wonderful night.
Every night I rush to my bed with hopes that maybe I'll get a chance to see you when I close my eyes. I'm going out